Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, hi, welcome. I am currently training for an Ironman half triathlon, which will be held on September 23rd, 2018 in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I am officially 10 weeks away as of today, which makes me a little nervous. you know, like I've said before, I kind of cycle back and forth between thinking like, this is going to be so much fun, it's going to be great. And then thinking like, this is a terrible idea, why am I doing it? I ran into an old coworker the other day, and he was with a friend, a new coworker, and we were kind of talking about, he introduced me, he was like, oh, and she's training for a triathlon, and the guy said, oh, well, how's that going? And I said, well, it's okay, you know, I feel like I'm a strong swimmer, and the biking is okay, but I'm really not a runner. And he just said, well, it sounds like you've signed up for the wrong event. And I don't know why that like really got to me, because I guess I'm in like a fragile place where I have that seed of doubt myself, you know, and for someone to say it out loud in such an obvious way maybe made it seem more true. I don't know. I mean, for that one comment, I feel like I've gotten 100 comments from you guys or more about, you know, yeah, you can do it and you're doing so great, blah, blah. But, you know, that seed of doubt is definitely in my mind of like, why am I doing this? I'm not a runner, and that has become so much more apparent this week. Especially, I feel like I'm starting to see a difference in, like, the swimming is really easy and the biking is really not that bad, and the running is just awful. And so, like, it's not like they're all getting better together, or they're all really hard together. No, like, the running is the worst. So, I don't know, I guess that, like, seed of doubt has been in my mind and kind of growing, but we keep it at bay, and I'm just gonna carry on. So I think I'm also just a little tired mentally. Physically, I feel great, which is pretty cool. I'm definitely still following keto. I received as a gift a blood ketone monitor, and I had never tested my blood ketones before, but I tested for the first time, and I came in at like a 2.1, and I think anything like above a 0.5 means you're in ketosis. So definitely solidly in keto. I feel like great with my food. I've been like super on point, and I find that like any small deviation, I notice it intensely in my training and in my daily feeling. So honestly, this kind of training has made like sticking to my food plan easier. But I'm just like mentally kind of drained, and I knew I would be, because right now I'm in a stretch of 13 days straight of training, because I moved my rest days around, if you guys remember, and I have links to the training plan that I'm following below. But I kind of moved some of the days around within each given week to better suit my schedule. But last week, I went to a festival on Saturday, so instead of having a rest day on Monday, I moved it up to Saturday. And then this coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be out of town. I'm going to be in Kentucky for a weight loss surgery meetup. So the rest day that would be tomorrow, Monday, is not until Saturday. So anyway, I have 13 days straight with no rest day. And I guess just like mentally it's getting to me a little bit, but I'm pushing through. It's fine. I'm definitely prioritizing sleep as much as possible. I'm getting a good like 6.5, 7 hours sleep every night. But you know what's funny is like I've started to have like really vivid nightmares. Only one about the actual race. I had one dream that I like missed the race completely, like overslept, didn't get there in time, and just like missed it. And that was like really devastating. I like cried in that dream. But just like other weird, sad, scary dreams, and I normally sleep really solid. So I don't know. Like I said, I think mentally it's kind of getting to me, but I'm carrying on. Physically, I feel really good, and I definitely attribute that to keto. You know, my energy has been really high, and you know what's incredible is that I'm not really sore. You know, in those first couple of weeks, I'm like, oh, I'm so sore. I'm like stretching a lot, blah, blah, yoga classes. I mean, I have incorporated a lot more stretching into my daily routine, but I'm really not very sore much anymore, which kind of makes me wonder if I'm not working hard enough, or if my body's just adjusting to this level of intensity. But you know, keto it's like very anti-inflammatory, and so I think that like quick recovery is also partially due to how I'm eating. So anyway, physically I feel good. Okay, so I'm not going to go through like every single day, but on Tuesday I did go bike again with my coach and a different coworker, and it went really well. We went much farther this time. And I feel so much more comfortable on the bike. Like every time I get on, I feel better. My upper body was like not sore at all. Thank you guys so much for all the recommendations on like the hand positions and stuff. But I'm getting much more comfortable with that. No more like death grip on the bar. So I feel much better about that. I still need to work on like reaching for the water bottle to drink while I'm biking because I do get very thirsty, and I'm gonna have to do that over the course of a 56-mile bike ride. But that's the next step. But so far, I feel like much better on the bike, and my team is just so supportive. There was one pretty, to me it was steep, pretty steep hill that we were going up, and both my coach and the other guy like way past me. But so it was like a hill and then down and then another like small hill, and they had like stopped to wait for me at the valley, like at the bottom of it. But I was going fast, and so I didn't stop. I just kept going. So I ended up passing them. Like they were waiting for me because I fell behind going up the hill. But they were waiting for me at the bottom of the hill, and I just like flew past them and like started going up the next hill. And they were like, "Yeah, you're a beast. You're doing so great." And I laughed out loud because I'm not a beast. I'm so slow compared to them. But I guess I'm not doing so bad. I asked the guy. It was a different guy, so he had never met me before. But like, I was like, "I'm really sorry if I slowed you down." He was like, "No, I am very honest, and I would tell you if you had slowed me down and you really didn't." And my coach keeps saying that I'm going to be really well prepared and that my training is going really well, so I guess I have to believe them. So the biking, it's really nice to be with such a supportive coach. So that's going well. The swimming, I love it. I feel like I could swim forever and ever. My swims have gotten longer, and I'm glad about that, but I just want them to be longer still. My pace has gotten a little bit faster. Right now I'm trending to finish the 1.2 mile swim in like 42 minutes. I think previously I was at like 44 minutes. So the swim is getting faster. No problem. I love it. I love it so much. To the point where I'm even considering... are you guys familiar with Masters Swimming? I'd only kind of heard of it a little bit previously, but basically it's like swim team for adults. That's like a national organization that has coaches and swim practices, and I don't even know if they have competitions, but maybe I'll join Masters Swimming after all this is over, because I really, or just keep swimming on my own, but I enjoy it so much. Like, it doesn't feel like work, it feels like fun every single time. So, yeah. Oh, and I was just going to mention as a side note, I've gotten so many comments about my skin recently, and my skin has always been pretty clear, but I keep hearing like, "You're glowing," and thank you. I don't know what to attribute that to, other than maybe the chlorine. As a teenager, when I was swimming a lot, I always had really clear skin, and I think part of it is genetics, but I think a lot of it has to do with all the chlorine. I think it's really actually very good for your skin, and I'm good about moisturizing. I always do that, but I think since I've been in the pool so much, my skin has become more clear somehow. I don't know. I only mentioned it because I've gotten so many comments about my skin recently, so thank you. I think it's the swimming. I don't know. I haven't changed anything else. Okay, so about the running. Well, so this week, my dear friend Ange recommended that I start training outside. Only because I think she was the only person who knew I had been training on a treadmill. Once I made that public, other people were like, "Oh my God, why are you even on a treadmill at all?" And I had run outside in the past, but this is different because they're longer runs. And so this week, all of my runs were outside, not a single one on the treadmill. And it definitely changes things, and I definitely want to continue doing that. I cannot tell yet if I like it better or worse, or if it's easier or harder. Honestly, I think it's about the same. You know, a lot of people swore like, "Oh, the reason you hate running is because you've been on a treadmill. You're going to love it once you're outside." Nope, still don't. Or I had personally feared that it would be harder to run outside. I thought I would like slow down a lot. I thought it would be hard for me to keep my pace without like seeing the digits on the screen and like having the treadmill kind of force you to go at a certain speed, but I haven't. So that's really good. So I'm using the Map My Run app, and even if you have music playing or whatever in your headphones, it'll talk over at every mile and tell you what your pace is for that mile, and then on average for the whole run. And I find for the shorter runs, I'm maintaining about 11 minutes per mile, and for the longer runs, like 12 and a half. So that's about what I was doing on the treadmill too. So I'm surprised about that. So it's not harder, but it's not more fun either. So I don't know. I mean, that park where I had told you guys that I was riding my bike around, it's a paved path, so I can run around too. And it's actually just a little bit over a mile for the loop for where I have my car parked. So I think it's good that I'm doing these like 1 mile loops because in my mind, I feel like I always have the option to just like stop and get in my car and go home, but I don't do that. But I also keep my water bottle at my car, so occasionally for the longer runs, I do like stop and drink some water and keep going, because realistically on race day, there's going to be water stations at every mile, so I will be able to stop and drink water whenever. So yeah, I don't love the running outside, but I don't love running on the treadmill either. They're both bad. In terms of my form, it has forced me to adjust a little bit. So I think the treadmill kind of forces shorter strides. So I think about that when I'm running. I try to have longer strides. And I'm trying really hard to I'm trying to translate the things I enjoy about swimming into running. So like in swimming, I really enjoy like feeling the feeling of like pushing the water with my hand, for example. So I try to mimic that when I'm running. I try to feel like with each step that I take, like the ground moving beneath me. I don't know. I also am leaning forward a little bit more. I think on the treadmill I was very, very upright and kind of bouncy, so I'm trying to like lean forward more and have longer strides that way. Also, I find little things matter a lot, like having the right socks. I had, one day I had socks that were too short and like the back of my ankle was rubbing, and then I got a blister and it like bled all over. And then since then, the blister, it's like scabbed over, but I had put Band-Aids on it, and then the Band-Aids roll up. I have to have the right brand, and I bought like taller socks. And anyway, the like socks and blister thing, like this stupid blister has been there for like a week and it won't heal, just because I keep rubbing it every day. I've also really found benefit in wearing sunglasses. I am normally not a sunglass wearer like in real life at all. So I did buy some sunglasses that I plan to wear on race day, and I've started wearing those when I run. That has been nice. I'm wearing the baseball cap that Susie sent me, and that one's really good because it's like moisture wicking and it's stretchy, so I can like kind of pull it tight. And even though my hair is wet, it does kind of dry in the sun, so the like wet hair situation that I described previously from like being indoors on a treadmill isn't really happening anymore. But yeah, I'm really just focusing on my form more. I try to like sink into my strides, if that makes sense, like not being so like upright and bouncy, and just kind of like bend my knees a little bit more and sink into it. So anyway, I'm doing it. I'm not stopping, but I really still just do not enjoy running, but I will carry on. Somebody had asked me like, are you going to skip today or something about like a training day because I was tired or whatever, but that never even crossed my mind. Like, it has never crossed my mind to skip a training day. I feel like I have to follow this plan exactly. I mean, I've switched around the order of some days, but I would never skip an actual day, because like then I won't be ready for the race, and then it'll be worse. I'll feel bad. So I don't know, like it just never crossed my mind to skip an actual training day or to cut anything short. I was talking today, I had a 10-mile run, and around mile 7, I got really kind of fatigued. And so I called my mom. I got like mentally fatigued, like bored. I had listened to a podcast, I had listened to music. So I called my mom because she's usually real chatty. And at some point she said, like, you could just stop. You could just go home. When I was at like mile 8, I'm like, no, I only have to do 10 miles. It's only 2 more miles. Are you kidding? Like, I wouldn't go home at this point. And she was like, okay. But like, that never crosses my mind to like not finish every training day, because then I won't be ready. Why would I do that? I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like I have to do this training in order to attempt to begin the race. It's like saying, I want to do this race, but I don't want to drive to the race location. Well, then you can't do the race. Like, if you want to participate in this race, you have to do the training. Or at least that's how I feel about it. It has never crossed my mind to skip, and I don't plan to skip any days unless I'm like very physically injured somehow. I keep thinking about that when I run outside too. I'm like, let me not twist and break my ankle right now, please, God. But anyway, yeah, I'm doing well. I will keep you guys posted next Sunday when I come into you. So I think I mentioned this. Saturday and Sunday we're going to be in Kentucky, so I pushed those rest days together. So the following week, instead of having the rest day on the Sunday, it's going to be one day early on on the Monday. Instead of being on the Monday, it's going to be on the Sunday. So then I'll have 7 days before my next rest day. But anyway, so next week when I come into you on Sunday, it'll probably be like from the road or from Kentucky, but I will have trained all week. So I will still give you updates, but that will be a rest day. Anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you guys so much for watching and for your endless support. It really means the world to me. Like I said, I'm really kind of like in a mentally fragile state sometimes. And just your kind comments really, really speak to me. So thank you. And I will talk with you soon. Bye.